Welcome back, guys. Japan May here once again, and I'm very excited for this video because this is my first time reviewing any of the Sentai Hero series vinyl figures. This is obviously the Kyurangers. Now, I will be following this line throughout the duration of Kyuranger because I really like the look of the upcoming Kyurangers, at least the ones we know about at the moment. Maybe not every single figure. For example, if they do the Sun and Moon forms of red here, I'm not a fan of that, so maybe I won't pick up those, but like Ryu Commander, Kogami Sky Blue, I will definitely be picking those up. These guys are pretty neat. They're not like 100% satisfying, like what I was hoping Sentai would do, which I don't know why they don't, is put out more like this type of figure, which we'll do a size comparison right now. Here he is with your standard Power Ranger figure. That's more what I'm looking for. They did it in the Ninja. I wish they would do it with the entire team here in Kyuranger because I love the look of these suits. I would love to get them in a higher articulated fashion, but these more stoic, less posable figures will do for now. Again, there's your size comparisons, about 2 inches smaller than we're used to, something like that. We'll set this guy off to the side now. They all come with little tags, which I thought I'd just show off real quick. They're of the Kyutama. You can see red, orange, blue, gold, black, silver, green, pink, and yellow. So again, I just thought that was neat, and then nothing on the back. So I thought I was gonna, so I thought I'd show that off really quickly. So as far as articulation goes, these guys all share the same level of articulation. All they have is a little movement here in the arms. If we'll focus on red, there we go. Little movement here in the arms, 360, and then a swivel in the waist. And they're a little bit of a soft, I don't know if you can tell, but you can just kind of like push his chest in, his legs. It's very soft, hollow, rubbery type of material. But again, they all look pretty good. The other thing I wasn't super thrilled with was their visors, as you can see, are all done up in a bluish color, which in the right light, yes, admittedly in the show, they do look bluish, but I do wish they did it up in black because the majority of the time they do look more black than anything else. But we can see right here with Red, we'll get focused on him now. We can see Red looks pretty good. He looks show accurate. Again, I do wish this was black instead of blue, but it's still not bad. I could always color that in myself if I wanted with those Gundam markers I have coming in that I plan on using on the Candy Toy set, but we'll see what happens. We have the Seiza Blaster done up in red, as you would expect. That is obviously the more show accurate color, but as you can see, they're all done up in their respective colors, so we'll see that individually on the rest of the figures. And again, you can see he's the basic plain suit, so nothing too special about him. If we set him off to the side, coming over to Sasori Orange, once again, you can see, again, the very standard suit, and there we go. All right, now we're focused. We got this done up in orange right here. We do have a little bit of a different symbol. I didn't show that off on red. I'll be sure to do that right after this, but we do have a different symbol on the chest. I don't know how well that's coming across, but we do have the Sasori symbol right here versus the Shishi symbol right there on the chest, so that's a nice little bit of detail I appreciate. And then his tail is here, as you can see. The back is molded differently from that of Red's. We have kind of this scaling effect going down, and then instead of having a tail that hangs off, it goes along his butt and along his the back of his leg versus, again, having an extra piece hanging off. And it's kind of a shame because when you look at them all, as you can see right here, he looks very similar to that of Red, whereas one of the big appeals, to me at least, of this season is the fact that all their suits have something different about them. And it's a shame because that tail hanging off the side could have helped differentiate him a bit, but as it stands, they kind of look like they have the same basic suit, which again, for the most part, they do. So it's not like a hard complaint, but I just thought I'd throw that out there. And we'll come over to Blue now. Now, Blue's a little bit slimmed out from what we have seen in the show. His first suit really does puff out, especially below the belt. It does get a little bit wider. You can see here on the feet, we even have these little claws implied. He's making a fist, so you can't see any claws on his hands, but again, you can see these little implied claws on his feet, which is pretty nice. And you do have this little fur effect going throughout his entire underbody, which is, again, nice. I wish he was a little bigger and a little bulkier, but that's not you know, a super major complaint. And again, we can see the little wolf symbol right there. And his face looks good. Again, his gets a little washed out because it is blue on top of blue. He's one of the ones that really, I think, would have benefited from having the black visor. Again, the blue decision's a little weird. Again, I acknowledge that in the right light, yes, their visors do kind of glow a bluish tinge. But again, majority of the time they're black with like little sparkly, like, you know, space-looking effects to it. So that would have been nice here, but it's not bad. So there is Okami Blue. And then coming over to Tenbin Gold, another one, kind of like I said with Okami Blue. He feels a little slim compared to what we see in the show. You can see him next to Red right here. And while obviously their suits are different, he is definitely bulkier, and he's got these extra pieces. You can see he's got this extra like crotch piece and these extra hip pieces, and obviously the shoulder's a little bit bulkier. He's still, and black falls over all the time. We'll get into that right after this. Anyway, now that people are done falling over and I'm done bumping the camera, yeah, so he still doesn't feel as bulky as he is in the show, but he definitely looks different from that of Red and Orange, which is nice. So there is that. We'll set him off to the side now. You can see right here we do have the little scale detail on his chest, which is nice. And again, we do have that extra detail all throughout his arms and legs. So the detail's all there. And again, the legs really do help make him stand out. He definitely does look different. We do have that flat head, which looks very, very nice. And again, just a cool figure. All the articulation is the same on all of these guys. I would point it out if anything was different. I think black is slightly different. I think he might be a little limited, but these guys so far are all the same. You got the 360 and you got the waist. So not bad here on Tenbin Gold. Now, I find that black here likes to fall over, and that's because of how his feet are done. I don't know how well you can tell, but that's flat right there, and you can see how his body goes up on an angle to the side versus straight forward like so. Straight up and down for him is like this, which is again kind of unfortunate. Again, he's limited. Like I said, I thought he did have limited articulation. You can see his giant shoulder pads do block him from going any higher than that, but his waist is still there, which again with these guys, they don't have enough articulation where I find myself using any of it. I just have them stand in these natural hero poses and call it a day. I really can't see myself moving them all that much. Maybe a little bit of that waist articulation just for a slightly more dynamic pose, but still, I don't know. Anyway, like I said, my biggest complaint with black is those feet. I wish they were sculpted. I guess I could go into a hairdryer and try to heat it up and bend it back a little bit, but yeah, he's slanted forward way, way too much, and he does have a tendency of falling over, though I suppose he was pretty good throughout this video. We'll see what happens in the future with him standing against my shelf. I could always lean him back against the back of the shelf, but again, really nicely detailed. Obviously a lot bulkier, a lot more muscly than the other Rangers, so he definitely stands out very nice. Here the blue is definitely working for him because I think it helps his visor pop a little bit more. So again, really cool look overall, and I like the extra detail on this guy. This is a nice, big, weighty figure, or, I mean, they're all really light, but you know what I mean, comparatively. And I don't know, like I said, I really like these figures. So we'll set him off to the side. And now continuing in order, I believe next is Hibitsukai Silver. So again, pretty standard stuff. We do have the scaling detail down here, which is nice, and on the arms, which is nice. Pretty much the only thing that really differentiates him. He does have the more oval-shaped head, and we do have the little cobra symbol right there on his chest. And we're losing focus rapidly. There we go. So there's a little cobra symbol right there. But again, ultimately, another solid figure. No real complaints. Wish it was more articulated, but other than that, he's pretty standard like the others. So again, off to the side. And now we'll bring in Chameleon Green. So here is Hammy, our only female ranger at the moment, because obviously, as of this recording, only episode 1 has come out. But you can see the really nice chameleon effect on her head. There's a little bit of a thing right here with the eyes where you should be able to see a little bit of the green helmet shining through, but again, I think that's too much of a minute detail for the level of detail these figures are going for, which is, again, is not a bad level of detail, but it's not, you know, like SH Figure Arts accurate. So I think it's fine. I'm just throwing that out there. You do have, once again, the chameleon symbol on her chest right there. And then again, you got the skirt, which is just one solid piece that goes into the legs, as you guys can see right there. And again, the green Seiza blaster. And ultimately, again, she's fine. She's obviously a slimmed down version of the guy figures, and she looks good. Next up, Washi Pink. You can see comparatively the two girls. I like how they're in slightly different stances. Like, I feel like Washi Pink's, like, her legs are more closer together, and she feels more effeminate overall than Chameleon Green does. And I mean, it's only been episode 1, but so far that's the vibe I get from these two characters. Slightly more tomboy, slightly more, you know, girly girl. I think that's interesting. I don't know if maybe I'm reading too much into that. Maybe just the plastic is slightly warped in different ways on mine. But like I said, I don't know. I kind of just get a little bit more of different vibes from these guys, where again, all the guys are in basically the exact same stance. There's a slight difference here in the girls, as you guys can tell. So I don't know. I just thought that was worth mentioning. It's really not that big of a deal. But again, Washi Pink, basically the same as Chameleon Green as far as just the level of detail goes. You can see the eagle on her chest. There we go, now we're focused. So that's pretty cool. And then of course she has her wings here on the back, which are again pretty nicely detailed, as you can see. It's got that little feathering effect to it. So there is that, and again, really nice looking visor. I like the look of Washi Pink's visor quite a bit. But speaking of visors, we'll set her off to the side, and there's only one guy left, Kajiki Yellow, and they messed him up. And this might be a good thing for some people. I know some people don't like his visor, but for me, I just want show accuracy. And you know, again, if we do a profile shot, I don't know what it is. I don't know if there was a safety concern of children maybe whacking each other in the eye with it or whatever, but Kajiki Yellow, as you can see, lost a lot of length. There's some there's some jokes here that I'm going to restrain myself from making, but bottom line is his visor is not fully there as it should be. So that's a little unfortunate detail-wise, but again, from the front, it looks like it does in the show. Once you just see him from the profile side, it gets a little unfortunate, especially because that's his one big thing that makes him different from the rest of the Rangers. That's why it bothers me so much, because the suit is exactly the same as red and orange, just done up in yellow. There's really no differences. His helmet is his one big thing that allows him to stand out. So again, it bugs me that his one big thing, for whatever reason, kind of got shortchanged. And then once again, you can see right there the swordfish, and that is about it, guys. So ultimately, I've never bought these Rider Hero series figures before, but I'm happy with them. I think they're neat. Would I do this again next year? Maybe. It really depends on how much I like the suits. I don't think these are amazing figures, especially as somebody who likes to occasionally take his figures off the shelf and mess with them. They're not my favorite because, again, they don't have that much articulation, but I did pick them up anyway because of my impatience. But again, hopefully in 2 years we will get this adapted into Power Rangers and we can get some badass articulated figures. Or hell, maybe we can even get some SH figure arts of these guys. That would be pretty cool too. They kind of stopped doing Sentai SH figure arts. But the bottom line is, I think these are solid figures at $6 a piece. They're pretty affordable, but I do think, you know, if you have to get the entire team, if you're like me and you're anal about stuff like that and you have to get the entire team, once you factor in $6 times 9 Rangers, that's a lot of money, and you could, especially with shipping, you could use that to get the Megazord or the Morpher. So it kind of depends. I think there are definitely better things you can do with that money as far as the Kyuranger toy line, but I don't think these guys are a bad purchase if you do like what you see here. But anyways, guys, as always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more, and I will see you guys soon with another video.